going on, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys a five-game slate on a Saturday. So we got a 5 o'clock game here, and then there's a couple games that haven't been updated yet. We're missing the Lakers game, and they're playing against Portland. And then we got a couple lines for this Jazz game that are not on here. And both teams are dealing with some injuries, so that could be why there's no lines yet. Realistically, Anthony Davis is questionable. LeBron's still out. Looks like Mitchell's gonna miss some time again. Gobert is there and healthy, and even some other games like Lowry, he's still questionable. His line's not out here. Porzingis, of course, is still questionable. Down the list, man, there's just a lot, especially on this 5 game slate that just opens some stuff up. So we're kind of just gonna be kind of quick on this one because it's a little shallow with the 7:30 game not out yet, and as well as the Lakers game not out. That's at 10:30 Eastern time. But if this is your first PrizePicks video, welcome. We always talk PrizePicks just about every day for NFL and NBA. PrizePicks is a great app. It's basically just daily fantasy sports simplified. So if you look at that Nikola Jokic line, he's at 26 and a half. You basically take an over and under on that, and you can just click on that one, and you could just put something in on that, or you could string a couple together in a flex play or a power play, and the power play is going to get you your most money, but you got to hit 4 out of 4, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 2, so your chances are a little lower, but you're shooting for the stars in that. Or you can play the flex where you get a little bit more options where you don't have to hit all 4, all 5, and then you can still get some cash back. So PrizePicks has been awesome. If you haven't seen our promo code down below, that's promo code Upstate. You can sign up using that, and you get a free deposit match up to $100. So you put in $100, and you get a free $100 from the site. So awesome deal, and we're excited to be working with them. And we're just gonna hop right into this slate, and Riaz is gonna kick us off with the points category.
Yeah, the first person I like is Seth Curry. He's seen a lot of usage since Tobias Harris is still out. He's going to be missing this game once again. And I mean, the past couple of games, he scored over 20 points, and his line's sitting at 16 and a half. And we know he can shoot the three. His pull up is just almost as good as his brother's. Not quite, but he scores a ton of points. His volume's there, shoots the ball a ton. I think he's in a great spot here against Chicago, who has a pretty great team, and they score a bunch of points, so they're gonna need Curry in a big way in this game.
Yeah, Curry, I like him as well. Just because last game, I mean, he went for like 16. I mean, I think he had like 13 to 16 in the first quarter last game. He's definitely, um, obviously, a phenomenal shooter. If you got to carry around that reputation with that last name. So, for real, man, I like Curry here. He can get there really fast. I think that's an awesome spot for him. Some of these top guys at 5 o'clock between Jokic and Porter Jr. We saw Porter Jr. Um, we're pretty much on him a lot of the time. Last game was pretty decent for him. 20 points, just kind of got over his line that he was at, but just still not exactly super confident in hammering those lines. And then a couple of these, there's 4 of these Bulls guys. You kind of got to pick and choose game by game. DeRozan, he's been just going crazy lately. So I think out of all these guys, DeRozan's going to be the guy I'm kind of leaning on. But is there another guy here you want to highlight, Riaz?
Yeah, I got two guys in the points category. Uh, Dennis Schroeder is a guy who gets a ton of minutes. His usage goes up when Jalen Brown misses, and he is out for this game, so he's going to get a bunch of run. And at 15 and a half, I think it's a little too low for the scoring that he's going to do. He kind of scores in spurts. It's not that he's going to shoot a bunch of threes and everything like that, but he gets to the line quite a bit. And at 15 and a half, I really like that over. And then the last guy I'm going to talk about is DeAndre Ayton. We finally seen him start to get it going here. Finally scoring above 10 points in the last couple of games. He had 21, 17, and 16, and his line's sitting at 14. He's got a nice matchup against Atlanta. I mean, I love targeting Capella and John Collins, but whenever you see a team play big like that, you know Aiton's going to be out there. and the only thing you really have to worry about is him getting in foul trouble. But I think he's not a young guy anymore. He knows to not get early fouls, just stupid fouls, where he's gonna sit for the rest of the first quarter and most of the second. So I like DeAndre in here just because he's been trending upwards in the points and just playing better overall.
Yeah, I don't think 14 is too high. I just think that he's got potential to kind of go out there and score 21, 22 points. Obviously he's not someone that's going to stretch the floor, but a decent presence on the inside, and the matchup against Atlanta doesn't really scare me. Like you said, I feel like he has to be out there for that matchup. And again with Schroeder too, obviously the uptick when Jaylen Brown is out is obviously phenomenal. So we've seen flashes of Schroeder back in his days in Atlanta and his time with OKC and the Lakers that he is a great scorer. So when he gets the opportunity, I think he's going to shine tonight. So I don't mind him at 15 and a half either. And then we'll hop over to rebounds. And these two top guys have been shattering the glass. Jokic, he's had games where he's getting 19 boards. He is trending a little bit down against those two games against Memphis. Still doesn't scare me in this matchup. I don't mind him here against Houston. And then Christian Wood, obviously, is a guy we're pretty much always on for rebounds, and he's been just killing the glass as well. Riaz, I'm pretty sure you're on Christian Wood this game, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love targeting Christian Wood, especially when he's at 10 again, and it seems like he just plays awesome whenever he plays against a team that has a couple good big men and stuff like that. And we saw against Phoenix. I mean, we were all over him when he was going against DeAndre, and he put up 15, and then back to back against LA teams, he had 13 and 16. So it seems to me that he just really loves um, playing up to his competition and playing against pretty great centers.
Yeah, I like him here in the spot. A couple of the other guys in that game, I'm not really on. Besides for Jokic, I'm not really on Porter or Gordon. Scrolling down a little bit, there's a lot of rebounding lines for that 5 o'clock game. Wow, there's like 9 guys you can choose from. But
Yeah,
Jokic and Wood are pretty much really the only guys I'm looking at here. Um, Tatum, he gets a little bit of an uptick now with Brown out. We've seen him hit that a couple times this season. A couple games he's grabbed 11, 9, and then just some games where he's just right there, 7, 7. One game he grabbed 15. So I wouldn't trust that Tatum line. If it was at like 6.5, maybe just 6 flat, I'd be a lot more. I'd be a lot more intriguing to take it. Um, Luca is a guy too that we want to see the triple double. We're waiting to see it. So I'm not gonna. It doesn't feel like I'm not gonna make a gut play on Luca tonight because I'm just not ready to do it yet. But Booker's another guy too at 4.5 that he's been kind of grabbing the boards at the shooting guard position that I like to see, man. Obviously, Ayton gets his boards too, so I think this is going to be a solid matchup here. Against Atlanta, there's going to be a lot of shots taken, so I think he has a very good opportunity, especially the way he's been rebounding to get this 4.5.
yeah. I mean, with Luca, we really haven't seen him grab as many boards as we did last year. Even with Porzingis being out, he really hasn't grabbed as many boards as we thought he was going to. There was only one game where he got over double digit boards, and but I really like Devin Booker, like you touched on. He's been grabbing a bunch of rebounds. He's not really much of an assist guy, especially with Chris Paul getting, it seems, about 20 assists a game. So I do like the Devin Booker over 4.5 rebounds.
Yeah, we'll hop over to assist. We talked Devin Booker in the assist category. Um, he's not. I mean, we talked Devin Booker in the rebound category. We got Mikal Bridges and Chris Paul here in the assist category. Both of these guys, Mikal, not much of a playmaker, but we've seen Chris Paul. I think that's the kind of line that he's going to be at all season. We got him at 10 here, but he's got potential to dish out. I mean, 20 assists in a game, man. He's dealing the rock. Really nice this season, so I wouldn't mind if you go there. We've seen Lonzo Ball get off to a good start. He had that triple double early in the season, but it's kind of been trending downwards a little bit in the assist category. I thought he was going to be like a almost 8 to 9 assist kind of guy, maybe averaging a double double this season with assists. So a couple guys here that look pretty decent, but I'm curious to hear what you like.
Yeah, I like Dennis Schroeder. Um, I like him on the points. I like him again here on the assists. He's at 4.5. It seems like every time Jalen Brown misses, he feels the need that he needs to step up and kind of fill those shoes, even though he's not the explosive player like Jalen Brown is. But we've seen through the years he's been in this league, and he's been in the league for a while now. That he's a playmaker. He loves to pass the ball around. He's not much of a spot up shooter, so he is always looking to get that next pass, that assist. And I think 4.5 is just a little too low. And even with Jalen Brown playing, he still has gotten 5, 9, 6 assists. So I like his line at 4.5.
Yeah, me too.
And then
Uh,
the last guy I'm going to talk about is Chris Paul. You touched on him a little bit. Chris Paul and I touched on him talking about Devin Booker's rebounds. It seems to me that Chris Paul just loves assists. He's the all-time leader. Now he passed Steve Nash a couple games ago for the all-time leading assists, and it seems to me that he's just going to rack up those numbers all year. We've seen him get over 10 so many times this year, for the last 5, and even at Sacramento, he was only 2 off. So I like Chris Paul here again.
yeah, I touched on Chris Paul too. I like him. So we'll plug both those guys in here at the over. We'll hop over to 3 pointers made. We'll end the game. I said game. We'll end the video with fantasy score. But 3 pointers made. Usually kind of a shallow category here. We got 8 guys. It's they're all pretty much right there realistically. Levine, he's gonna shoot a bunch. Luca, he's just been getting over that lately, so maybe the shot's starting to fall a little bit. I know a lot of guys this season have been really, really, really streaky shooters. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what's been going on. Percentages are really low, but that's just how the season starts sometimes, especially with the new ball. But who do you like here? All these lines that are pretty decent. So I'm curious to see who you like.
Yeah, I like Monte Morris. It seems to me he's pretty up and down so far this year. Some games he's not making any. Some games he's making one. He's only shooting 31% from three, but I like the line 1.5. It seems to me that this game is going to be pretty high scoring. I can't tell you the over under, but Houston's a very young team, and Denver seems like they just want to score a bunch of points this year. They don't want to be uh, just getting it done on the defensive end. They want to be able to score a bunch of points with these good teams, and Monte Morris is going to be the guy until Jamal Murray comes back. That gonna have to have that scoring output where he makes a couple of threes. So at 1.5, the line doesn't scare me too much because we saw last year he was making 3, 4 uh, 3 pointers a game. So if we could see that in this game against Houston, and I have him shooting probably 6 threes. So at 31%, I mean, it seems like he should make two. So I like that over.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind him here. He's gotten off to kind of a rough start here. So I mean, a lot of these, everyone besides Jokic really on the Nuggets, I haven't really been on all seasons. Jokic has been the kind of the bright spot. Porter Jr.'s been struggling and stuff, but Tatum, make it, might get a couple more attempts with Brown being out, but still doesn't shoot a bunch of them. In the past like 5, 6 games, only shot a ceiling of 6 3 pointers, and he's not really making them 27% on the season. So a lot of these guys I'm not really on, so I don't mind Monte Morris here. And then Luka's probably the only other guy I take a stab at. Um, but we'll hop over to fantasy score
Oh, I
and
got one more for three.
oh, okay.
Uh, Markel Markel Bridges at 1.5. He's shooting 44%, pretty much 45% from three this year. A ton of games where he's made 2 threes. Shoots about 4 or 5 of them a game, and he's just been shooting the ball lights out. Haven't hasn't really done much else, but I really like his line at 1.5.
Yeah, I think this is a game that's going to be pretty high scoring. I think there's going to be a lot of threes flying around. So yeah, I think that's a pretty fair line for Mikal Bridges. Honestly, I like that too at 1.5. At fantasy score, there's a bunch of guys, man. You see some of the Heat guys start popping in here. me and Riaz were talking about that Kyle Lowry line. It was, I think it was at like 30 or something like that, and then it kind of, went away. But if that pops up again, really on that Kyle Lowry line. Someone like Hero, he struggled last game, so the projection might be down, but have him in a spot where he can definitely bounce back. That game against, oh my God, that game against Boston was so ugly. Miami scored 78 points. I mean, that's just crazy. So, um, don't expect that again from those guys. So all those guys I feel like at a pretty decent discount. But I like Hero the most out of the bunch. Seth Curry's a guy. He's pretty score dependent in that category, but 25. If we feel like we're over on the points, we feel like he can get there as well on the fantasy score, so I don't mind that. And then I don't know, man. There's a couple guys here that you can take a look at. I want to hear who you like.
Yeah, I mean, if Kyle Lowry comes back around 27-30, I like that for a comeback game. And you could, like you said, the Miami game against Boston was such an outlier. Teams have bad games, they have letdowns, and you could definitely take a stab at a couple of these Heat players just for the discount. But I like Tyrese Maxey. Uh, I'm not sure why his line's at 24. He really hasn't had like awful games. His floor is kind of around 20, 21 fantasy points, and we've seen his ceiling get to almost 40. And with Embiid kind of being banged up, yeah, I know he's still out there, and Drummond's been playing well when he comes in, but they're not really there to. Well, at least Drummond's not really there to do much of the scoring, and with Harris out, Tyrese Maxey needs to come in and score and help out Curry in that aspect. So I like the over 24 fantasy points.
What scares me about Maxi is Milton getting a lot more usage and a lot more run. I think Milton's a pretty good scorer. I mean, we've seen him, really trending upwards. 36 fantasy points last game. But Maxi's a young guy, and I know they want to give him some confidence. So Maxi's gonna get the start. So I don't mind Maxi there. And the Danny Green news, I believe he's still gonna miss. So I don't have a problem with really either of those guys. I think they can easily both get there. Scrolling all the way down, some of these Suns guys. Some of the Hawks guys are pretty low. Collins looks really low at 28. I think this is a solid matchup for him. We've seen him go for like almost 50 fantasy points in a game. Capella's going to need to be out there. It's just a matter of can Ayton between him and Ayton, hopefully no one stays in foul trouble. Both should hypothetically smash. And Trey Young, I mean, that's really kind of like a floor for him. 39. We haven't seen him just absolutely kind of like break a slate yet this year, but we know it's probably coming. I'm not gonna say this is like my biggest gut feeling on this entire slate, but I think Trey Young is at a floor here at 39.5, and I don't mind him.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like you're getting Trey Young at a discount at 39 and a half. But you touched on him, John Collins. I think that line's just way too low for him. I know he had a tough game against the Jazz, but it seems like everyone just has a tough time against the Jazz. And uh, I don't think Aiton's going to be on him much. I think it's going to be him and Capella going back and forth. So I think John Collins is going to take advantage of his matchup. Uh, I couldn't even tell you. I'm having a blank on who would be guarding John Collins. But regardless, we've seen John Collins score like 28 points, just actual points, not even counting his rebounds and blocks and a couple of steals and his rebounds. So I really like the 20 and a half, and it seems like I've been on John Collins a lot this year, but he never seems to fail me.
Yeah, it'd probably be Crowder who's on John Collins. If not, they might roll out like Cam Johnson or something like that. But I think Collins is more of a front court player than someone like Jay Crowder is. He's more like a hybrid 3 to 4. Crowder is compared to Collins, who's more of just like simply a front court player. So I don't mind Collins there um, at 28.5 as well. So is there anyone else here you want to talk about, or do you want to wrap this up?
We could wrap it up. I don't mind the Kent Bazemore. Um, I just think he's that line's a little too low after a bad game against OKC.
Yeah, that's not a bad spot for him either. It's just a matter of like who's going to be in. If all four are in and playing, oh, obviously LeBron's already listed as out. Um, but it's just like it's just tough for me to go to Bazemore just on the inconsistency. Some of these guys, even like a Bogdanovich there at 22, who's just like 6 fantasy points over that. Um, someone that you're guaranteed that's going to put up shots and going to get minutes. I feel like there's a little bit safer of bets, but I can see where you're liking with Bazemore for sure. And then I wish some of these Lakers lines would come out, man. I think they're just kind of waiting on some of these, inactives and seeing what's rolling out there. But I think that's going to be it for us, man. We plugged in a couple guys here at the end, but obviously we've been highlighting the guys all video. So thank you for sticking it out with us. Once again, thank you for the growth on the channel. Everything's been awesome. We're going to continue to roll out some videos. If you're interested in DraftKings as well, we do some DraftKings Fire Fives. We're going to roll those back out this week. NFL as well. We do PrizePicks for that. So go check that out for NFL Week 9. That got posted last night. And we hope that you have an awesome day betting. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.